You can check another one off the list for Jimmie Johnson and chalk it up to an unfortunate mistake. It looked like Marcus Ambrose was going to be in victory lane with win number 1, but instead it's number 4 this season for Jimmie Johnson on what was a wild day in wine country. Now Jimmie Johnson has his first ever road course victory. There are only 4 tracks left that he hasn't won on, but right now he will be celebrating this Father's Day as an expected father. And welcome everyone to NASCAR Victory Lane, fueled by Sunoco on speed. Many, many twists and turns along the way in this one, but in the end it may not have been a case of Jimmie Johnson and the 48 team beating the 47 team. It might have been a case of Marcus Ambrose and the 47 team beating themselves. Hello everybody, I'm John Roberts alongside of Hermie Sadler and Jeff Hammond. The crowd's going nuts behind us right now as Jimmie Johnson, a California native, gets out of his car victorious in his home state. And guys, we said it was a wild one. You might not have seen this one coming until the very end.
Oh, it was just unbelievable right there. They had a great race going between the 48 and the 47 folks, but right there at the end, that last caution, the 47 car thought they needed to save fuel, cut the engine off. The thing did not refire like it's supposed to. NASCAR mandates that you maintain your speed when you're leading the race or any position in that line behind the caution car. What happened? He lost about 5 or 6 positions. When the engine finally refired, NASCAR says, well, right where you started again is where you're going to restart, and that cost him that race.
And this race had several big twists. It started, when the green flag fell, the 48 car was gone. Looks like he was going to be the dominant car. Frankie Kerr and that 47 bunch made some great adjustments, got Marcus Ambrose out front, had a great green flag pit stop. They beat the 48 back on the racetrack. Then it looked like he was in control of the race, and then he gave it up under caution. Bad break for Marcus Ambrose, good break for Jimmie Johnson.
Let's take a look at some of this action on the racetrack, what we were talking about just a moment ago of how this whole thing unfolded. A great pit stop effort under green flag conditions by the number 47 team. As Marcus Ambrose gets out on the racetrack, Hammond, is probably key here to look at where the number 48 is.
Well, the key thing was the 48 had made a stop right there coming off of pit road. You see the 48 right behind Marcus Ambrose. Jimmie Johnson had stopped the lap before. He got held up there with just a little bit of traffic, but both of these teams did an outstanding job on pit road. And coming off of that exit, Marcus Ambrose, he went up through the gearbox a lot quicker than Jimmie Johnson and was able to beat him, and that was the key at lap 81.
And look right here, watch the fingers of Marcus Ambrose turning the engine switch off to coast, trying to save fuel on this racetrack. The question is why? They should have been good on fuel. I know they were worried about a possible green-white checker or maybe a couple of them, but you can see, Jeff, the car stalls. He cannot get it back going, and as you said, you have to maintain minimum caution speed.
All of these cars passing him, and all it did is took the clean air away from the 47, put him back in the field, and pretty much it ended like what would look to be a storybook finish for this 47 car.
Marcus Ambrose pitted with 30 laps to go. That should have been more than enough fuel to make it to the end. Now, we can only speculate. We're not Marcus Ambrose. We don't know what was going through his mind, but you have to think he was planning for a possibility of 3 green-white checkers.
Well, he's trying to be on the safe side, and you figure if it all goes well, we saw Tony Stewart win a race at Pocono doing the same thing. We see it every week. The problem is you have to maintain that speed. A lot of undulations on this racetrack, uphill, downhill. He stalls the car. Cost himself the race.
It cost himself the race. He wound up finishing 6th. Still had a great run, but the cool thing, or the cruel thing about it, I was on pit road just prior to the start of the race talking to Frankie Kerr and Marcus Ambrose. They felt like it was going to be their day, and the last thing I told Frankie, don't beat yourselves, and that's what it looked like it did. I mean, those guys had the car. It just didn't work out for them. I mean, my heart's bleeding for that 47 group right now because this was a golden opportunity for them.
Hey, this is a career opportunity for Marcus Ambrose to win this race today. Getting that elite group of drivers that are winning races at the Sprint Cup level, to be that close and have it go away, you know he's got to be dying.
Well, here's the good thing. He's got one more shot this year at Watkins Glen. He is always up front when it comes to these road courses, but also he may have a shot at the Oval as well.
Yeah, I mean, they're making progress. The question is, at the end of last year when people asked me, going into 2010, what are some surprise teams that you think may be in contention for this chase? Marcus Ambrose was at the top of my list. I said, as good as he ran last year, if he just gets a little bit more experience, he could be in contention for the chase. And it's just been that kind of year from them. If anything could go wrong, it's gone wrong.
Well, the bad thing about it is, guys, you come in here, they were all talking about we need to win this race. We can win this race. Well, they could. They could have done every bit of it. But now when they leave here, will they be leaving here with their heads hung down thinking we let one get away from us, and will it affect them this upcoming weekend when we have to go to Loudon? I mean, the bad thing about our sport is it doesn't give you a whole lot of time to kind of lick your wounds and get over it. You've got to be ready next week now.
Well, Marcus Ambrose is thinking about the one that got away. Jimmie Johnson is celebrating win number 4 this season, and there are now 4 tracks where Johnson has yet to win. Chicago, Homestead, Michigan, and Watkins Glen, and those could all go off the list as they are all coming up soon for Jimmie Johnson. We'll be back for more celebration for Victory Lane in a moment.
NASCAR Victory Lane is fueled by Sunoco, the official fuel of NASCAR. Put the fuel of NASCAR in your car. And brought to you in part by Tornadoes. Bold is how we roll.
Jimmie Johnson is raising the Champions Goblet here at Infineon. This is NASCAR Victory Lane, fueled by Sunoco. He now has his first win on a road course, and our 4-time defending champion has 4 wins this season. It's race number 16 of the year. Let's take you back to the green flag and show you how the whole thing unfolded. Starting out, guys, with your defending race winner, Kasey Kahne, starting on the pole in the number 9 car.
Yeah, he led us to the green start, but the key, I think, of this whole race was the start of this race, how strong this 48 car came out of the box. I mean, we were kind of surprised, I think, on qualifying day that he was able to accomplish this, but early on, he showed he did have the car to beat, Hermie.
Yeah, the 48 car was dominant to begin the race, got it to a 3 or 4 second lead. On the other hand, Kasey Kahne, last year's race winner, he started up front and moved, he fell all the way back just inside the top 10 in the first run.
Caution number 1 came to us in the S's, where it was a kind of pile-up going on there in between a couple of cars, but the guy who got the worst end of it was a guy who kind of got involved in it late, and that was Kyle Busch.
Well, if you go back and look at the replay, the 43 of A.J. Allmendinger, he actually got in the side, went over the edge of the curve, hit the 33, turned him around, and triggered this whole situation. And the bad thing about it was, take a look at Jamie McMurray. He's right there, right in behind him was the 18. And you can clearly see there was no place to go. He gets in the back of the 19 of Elliott Sadler, and it pretty much ruined the day for a lot of these guys.
Yeah, a lot of those guys had bad days because of that, but Kyle Busch had to go behind the wall. It effectively ended his day.
Here are the guys that were having a good day, at least at this point. The class of the field was Jimmie Johnson and Marcus Ambrose, as they were leading the way and putting on a very good battle and display of skill on the road course.
Hey, and you got to give the 47 car credit. They made some adjustments on pit road, and we're going toe-to-toe with that 48, Jeff.
Oh, I mean, that's the thing is right now, I think Jimmie Johnson showed a lot of patience, and so did Marcus Ambrose. When Jimmie had the best car, he was able to take the lead and stretch it out. But they, again, you talk about Frankie Kerr and Chad Knaus, they kept working on their race cars, making it better all day long.
5-time winner this season, the number 11 team, driven by Denny Hamlin. They're having some trouble here. You see the front hood, the hood on the front of the car. It's opened up. As the pit crew comes around to the other side, you're going to see the NASCAR official come up, check it out, look and see that the hood pins are still intact, and he'll actually give you the thumbs up.
Well, you look also, JR, look at the team member. He checks it to see it's down. Then NASCAR comes and checks it. He gives it basically the okay. It looks like it's all right. But unfortunately, with all the wind that can get up underneath these hoods of these cars, it doesn't make very good. It didn't work very good at all. Coming down the racetrack, all of a sudden you see what happens. The hood pins, they shear off. All of a sudden the hood is up over your windshield and driving.
How is he driving that thing?
Yeah, it's hard enough to go straight when you can't see, but going left and right. Good job by his spotters to help him get back to pit road.
Yeah, but it really cost this group right here. They had to cut the hood away to get this 11 car back out there. It cost them a lot of time on the racetrack.
And when you get mired back in the field, we saw today a lot of guys that were running up front get mired back in the field and get in more trouble. Their day, the trouble just compounds as they go, and go. Now, here's a guy who ran very well today. Robbie Gordon, the number 7. He is on the way to a great day.
Yeah, I mean, and he's another one, just like Marcus Ambrose. He has a lot of weight on this race here at Infineon. This is a place that he knows he can excel. He was able to take advantage of it. He was patient, Jeff, worked his way through the field, got himself in a good position, and took advantage of it.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he came in and told us the other day on trackside, I'm not real happy with what we qualified, but I think we can pull some strategy out. Gene Neat did a great job right there. He took advantage of it and was able to bring it home.
Trouble for the 66, Dave Blaney. And then we're going to go inside the pits now as we go down and see Jeff Gordon getting worked on in there as he gets away cleanly, at least close to cleanly. And the number 56 of Martin Truex Jr., good job by that crew as well to get him out of there. Martin spent a lot of time at the front of the field today.
He was basically, JR, in the top 5 all day long. Good on the racetrack, good on pit road, as well as the guys for Juan Pablo Montoya. Good pit stop for those guys.
Fairly heavy adjustments there for Juan Pablo. And, you know, this race seemed to take on a little personality of itself. At the beginning, you had 2 guys running away with it and a little bit bit of trouble in back. And then we get to the second half, which we're going to get you to in a moment, and then kind of all heck breaks loose.
Well, the thing is about this racetrack, JR, everybody talked about it all week long. You had to have forward bite. That was the key to being successful here today. Chad Knaus and Jimmie Johnson, they got their car working. Frankie Kerr, along with Marcus Ambrose, they got that 47 car. They got it hooked up. And those two guys were able to kind of like separate themselves from the field because of that. Everybody else all day long was putting rubbers in, making adjustments to track bars, putting wedge in the car, making air pressure adjustments, all because there's no grip on this racetrack.
And I tell you, a lot of these guys have really closed the gap. I mean, from third back outside to about 25th, 28th, there's only a couple tenths a lap different in lap times. And these guys are racing hard, trying to get that track position on this road course.
Also going to be looking at a little shake-up in points as some of the leaders had a rough day today, but Kevin Harvick maintained his hold on the top spot. We're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we will have Jimmie Johnson, also have more highlights. We'll take you to the checkered flag here on NASCAR Victory Lane. Welcome back, everyone, to NASCAR Victory Lane on Speed, which is fueled by Sunoco. There is a beautiful aerial look at the wine country of California, the Infineon Raceway. We are here in Victory Lane as Jimmie Johnson is celebrating win number 4 of the season and his first ever road course win. Let's get you back to the highlights. When we left it off, it was a battle between the two cars that were the class of the field in Jimmie Johnson and Marcus Ambrose.
And that's when we started to see some pit strategy come into play. Jeff Hammond, a lot of these guys pitted, except a couple cars stayed on the racetrack to get that track position we've been talking about.
Yeah, track position has been so important all day long. You see there the 14 of Tony Stewart, and our leader at that point in time was Boris Said, being followed by Marcus Ambrose in third. So track position has been key all day long. But guys, this is where this 48 car was so strong. Coming into 4, right there at the top of the chute, he was able to make a lot of passes down through there.
Great job by Jimmie Johnson there, and he certainly had that forward bite. But look out for Jeff Gordon, his teammate, coming behind him. Seemed to pass a lot of cars in that area, but that one didn't work out that well that time.
Excuse me, coming through. And that was just the beginning of the rest of the day.
Take a couple more looks at that incident. You see the 83 involved, 24 hits the number 6 of David Reagan. Juan Pablo Montoya gets away unscathed.
And what happens a lot of times on a road course like this is really narrow. It's not the two guys that make contact to get the trouble. It's guys behind them that end up with all the damage.
That was a great onboard look there.
Look at Kevin Harvick shooting the gap right there, our points leader. He got track position out of that.
All right, well, Jeff Gordon is not done yet making his way to the front. There he goes, sends Martin Truex for a spin. Martin Truex was very unhappy about those goings-on.
You know, and when Jeff Gordon's behind you, you just do not expect those kind of moves because he is a great road course racer. He normally passes people without making contact, so you know Martin Truex had to be caught off guard.
Brad Keselowski gets loose, goes off into the tire barrier.
Yeah, turn 10 is always fast, JR, and it gets you a lot of trouble. You saw the 12 car get loose, a lot like his teammate Sam Hornish did earlier in the week, but he didn't fare too well.
Big wreck coming up here on the restart, and this is another one that cost Martin Truex dearly.
Yeah, the accordion effect. Boris said was up front, spun his tires, accordion effect through the whole field, Jeff Hammond. And look, this racetrack is very narrow. It is start-finish line, nowhere to go.
Yeah, I'm glad you kind of pointed that out. We saw the 29 getting the back of people, the 83 getting the back of people, Juan Pablo Montoya getting the back of someone. It was all because one car spun the wheels. You take a look right here, here's Juan Pablo. He gets in the back of the 83 car, and again, it all accordion, the dominoes just kind of happened all the way back into the middle of the field. We had a big crash.
And look, when you're doing a restart, if you're back in 15th, 20th position, you can't see what's going on up front. You got to react to what's right above, right in front of your windshield, so it's kind of hard to catch up.
And you're coming off of turn 11 right there, and you're getting full head of steam. You're catching gears, and it's a restart, and you know you got to be going when you go up that hill, and that really got a lot of people in trouble.
Caused a fairly lengthy red flag situation as they stopped the cars. When we went back to work here is Kurt Busch and the number 14 driven by Tony Stewart.
Well, they went at it hot and heavy here. Tony Stewart, you see the 2 car getting inside of the 14. And again, Tony Stewart ran well today, but he wasn't quite the factor we expected. He wound up 9th.
So a good job going on right there, Bob, driving 47 and 48. Marcus Ambrose, rather, and Jimmie Johnson still the class of the field.
Yeah, it looked like right here to me that the 48 car was just riding, Jeff, saving his stuff and watching what Marcus Ambrose was doing. Marcus doing a good job of keeping his car on the pavement, being that he's looking in that rearview mirror to see where Jeff's at.
Well, he knew he had a pit stop coming up, and I think this is where Chad Knaus was going to play a little cat and mouse. They made the pit stop on lap 80 before the 47. They were running second at the time, and I think he was figuring that, man, if we have a good pit stop, these new tires, we may be able to get ahead of that 47, but the very next lap, the 47 car made their pit stop.
Yeah, and they match them on pit road, in and out. 47 car, great stop by Frankie Kerr and his guys, Marcus Ambrose, burning the tires, getting off pit road, and he gets back in front of the 47, a big moment in this race at this point.
Yeah, the exit of pit road, you take a quick look one more time. There's the 47, he leaves pit road, right behind him, the 48, JR.
All right, little incident coming up here between Juan Pablo Montoya and Joey Logano. Bang, bang. And this really was going on for a long time, the beating and banging between these two.
Yeah, we're seeing the end result right here, but this was going on back several corners before this. These guys not giving each other a lot of room nor a lot of respect.
No, they were racing hard and very heavy. You see here contact between the 20 and the 42, and it's almost like Juan Pablo said, wait a minute, I should have this position. Give it to me, give it to me. You won't give it to me? Well, I'm going to take it.
Yeah, Joey was trying to make a move there. It wasn't really much of a passing area right there that he was trying to get by, and Joey took some room, and Juan Pablo took it back.
We are getting later and later on in the race right now. The restart had a couple cars up front, kind of out of sequence, if you will. The number 12 of Brad Keselowski was up there, and you saw Boris Said there get off course.
Oh, that last restart right there, it really kind of jumbled up the field. Keselowski got into the 26, ran him off the course, and then it was a big race between the 12 and the 47, all for the lead. And then we thought Jimmie Johnson was going to make it a three-way battle going into turn 4, but hey, Marcus Ambrose, he proved out.
Yeah, and when Jimmie Johnson did not dive bomb in turn 4 to take the lead, I just thought, Jimmie says, hey, I got plenty to get him later on. You see the 83 car taking a spin.
That is Matthias Ekstrom, his first ever Sprint Cup Series start here that ended not the way it started. He spent a lot of time running up front and actually led the race for a while.
Just remember something, JR. Cautions breed cautions, especially on road courses.
And remember, the double file restart puts everybody up there where they want to run. And there's some more beating and banging going on. And, well, here's another incident where Jeff Gordon gets in the back of Elliott Sadler. The number 33 of Clint Boyer suffers as well. And those guys were running 7th and 8th at the time.
Yeah, tough break for everybody involved. Elliott Sadler running in the top 10, needing a solid top 10 finish. He gets into the 33 after contact from 24, ruins both those guys' days.
And more trouble going on up here on the racetrack. This time it was BK12. Brad Keselowski again goes for a spin, and after that he was sent to the garage area.
Well, he lost his splitter, and you can't race without a splitter. I think they had to take the thing back inside there, and a lot of, again, damage there on that 12 all day long. This is where it got the 47 in trouble. He'd cut the engine off to try to save fuel, and as he came up the hill, the engine did not refire. You saw Jimmie Johnson, the 7 of Robbie Gordon, the 16, the 29, the 2, and along come Casey Kane. He finally refires, and that's where he had to go in line.
And then we wondered what the call was going to be, where NASCAR was going to put Marcus Ambrose. According to the rule book, he went back to the 7th position, and therefore, as everybody comes by him and passes him, then he gets it fired back up by NASCAR rules. That's where he restarts, and Chad Knaus was heard telling Jimmie Johnson, look, man, we just got a gift.
Yeah, and look at this restart right here. Jimmie Johnson puts everything to bed right here with a great restart, Jeff.
The cool thing and the main thing about the 48 and Chad Knaus and Jimmie Johnson, you know what those guys are? They're deal closers. You give us an opportunity, and we're going to take full advantage of it. They don't make any mistakes when it comes to closing out a race. When he could not get around that 47, we heard Chad Knaus telling Jimmie, hey, be careful, think about the big picture, don't make a mistake. They didn't make any mistakes, but they did take advantage of somebody else's.
They always say coffee is for closers, and Jimmie Johnson is up there, well, throwing around Gatorade after another win here. Let's take a look at the results. Jimmie Johnson with road course win number 1, 4th win of the season, and great job by Robbie Gordon.
Hey, and I tell you what, Kevin Harvick, 3rd place finish. The 18 had problems, the 11 had problems. Great points day for Kevin Harvick.
And let's not forget that 9 car, Casey Kane. He comes back. He was a defending champion here, had a very, very strong run. And hey, guys, look at Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Earnhardt Jr. in the 11th spot.
Yep.
Not bad at all.
Not
Jamie
bad.
McMurray, 15th. Ryan Newman, 16th. And Elliott Sadler finished 17th, but that's not where he was running towards the end of this race. On back in the field we go, and Hermie, we see the guys that ran into some trouble along the way.
I tell you, Matthias Ekstrom had a good run today. He got out front, led some laps. He did a great job today.
And late in the race, we saw the 99 having problems along with the 17. They had a little help right there last minute.
And those two guys didn't need that.
They
They're
didn't need
right on the edge of that chase.
Exactly.
Clint Boyer in the 31st position. Again, not indicative of where he spent most of the day. A very tough day for Denny Hamlin in the number 11. Finished P35, and that was an instance of him just problems compounding each other.
We saw a lot of guys right there at the latter part of this race get in trouble that were in the chase. And I think, JR, this race is going to have a huge impact on them.
Well, Kevin Harvick holds on to the top spot in points, but look at what Jimmie Johnson did with the win. Moved up 4 positions in points, and a couple other guys on the move as well, including Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, and Jimmie Johnson also got those 10 extra bonus points. He's only 10 points behind Denny Hamlin now as far as bonus points, Jeff.
And that's real important as you get later on in the season. But I think a cool thing is, guys, Jimmie Johnson finally won a race with this new spoiler, even though it was a road course.
Yeah, so congratulations to Jimmie Johnson. It's kind of a bittersweet day, however, for the NASCAR community, as we have lost one of our pioneers and founders. Some new fans might not be familiar with the name Raymond Parks, but he was one of the guys that was at the initial meeting at the Streamline Hotel in Daytona Beach. Brian France said the community is saddened by the passing of Raymond Parks. He was our first championship owner. Raymond is a giant in the industry and will always be remembered for his dedication to NASCAR. Raymond Parks, a founder and pioneer, was 96 years old. Welcome back, everyone, to NASCAR Victory Lane, fueled by Sunoco. On this Father's Day, it was the number 48 team that asked the question, who's your daddy? And an expected father, Jimmie Johnson, is celebrating in a big way after adding a road course to his resume of wins, and we can check another one off the list. Jimmie, congratulations. You said you've been working as hard as you can on becoming a better road course racer. Some interesting situations out on the racetrack, but the bottom line is you got your win.
Yeah, we did. I've obviously been working really hard and trying to drive other vehicles to get better at road course racing, and the cars are so different, it's tough to really have it correlate, but I think being in a car that goes faster than these and brakes better and does things better, and you've got your mind has to be trained to work in that short period of time, and then you get in the Cup car and everything's a little more, it's a little, not easier, but the slower paced and a little bit easier to understand what's going to take place. So I feel very good about the effort I've made. The guys have been very patient with me and giving me great race cars, and I finally carried the car, you know, like I should have all these years.
Jimmie, I guess we could say the demise of the 48 team has been exaggerated a little bit. You guys still getting it done, but the last couple of weeks has been interesting just listening to your interviews. You said, I'm so used to trying to step it up and close deals and get to victory lane, maybe got yourself some bad spots, and so you've reeled it back in just a little bit. But to be able to do that and still get top 5 finishes and today win says a lot about where you and your race team are.
Yeah, I mean, even at the start of the year, we won those 3 races, and we weren't really the best car. I mean, we were a top 2 or 3 car, and circumstances worked out, and we didn't make mistakes, and we won. But we knew we were off a little bit then. As the year has gone on, we've been experimenting with things. Some has worked, some has not. But either way, I get to a point where I have been trying too hard, and I have made some mistakes because I don't like seeing cars drive away from me, and it's bit me. So the last couple of weeks, I've just driven the car to the limit, didn't cross the line, and if it's a 5th or 6th place car, then that's what we get. And it's worked well the last 2 weeks, and then today, I wanted to go chase the 47 down, or try to at least. I don't know if I would have, and Chad kept hammering me on saving my rear tires, and it was good that I did because I could have burned them off the car, and then the 29 or the 7 could have come up there and got us.
Well, I mean, that was where I was going to go, was lap 80. It looked like it was a great call by Chad. You guys ducked in the pits before the 47. You come out, and you would probably be thinking, okay, we're going to come around here. I'm going to beat him off, and I will get the lead eventually. But there, all of a sudden, he comes off right there in front of you, and now the race was on. And again, he took off. Yeah,
he did a great job. I got stuck in a little bit of slower traffic coming around and couldn't take advantage of pitting a lap before him. And once he came out in front of me, I knew I was going to have a hard time getting by him. And on the long run, I think we were a little bit better. So I was just hopeful to have some long green flag runs to try to get by him and take advantage of that. But I have to back up a step and say that I feel terrible for him. I'm very happy to have this trophy and to won this race, but he's a great driver. He puts on one heck of a show, and then his team owners gave me my start in the Nationwide Series. So if I didn't win today and they won, I was going to be very happy for those guys, and just didn't work out for them. We took advantage of it.
Jimmie, if anybody knows the importance of winning over the last couple of years, it's got to be you. But I think it's kind of funny sometimes when you hear people say, oh, Hendrick Motorsports is struggling. But, they got 3 guys in the top 12, but yet it's the wins. This thing has become all about the winning, hasn't it?
Well, yes, it has. And then at the same time, last year went so well for the organization, and we won so many races that we set a high mark. And that's kind of the downside to running well. When you don't run as good, people are like, hey, what's up? What's wrong? Yeah. So we see that. We understand that. And we enjoyed all those days when everybody was singing our praises, and you've got to take the lumps when it's not going your way as well.
This weekend, the way you guys came in here, did you come in here any differently? Remember, we talked the other week about your great win at Eldora. You didn't do a lot of practicing. What about coming in here? What was the preparation coming in for this race? Because you guys have been strong since you unloaded that 48.
Yeah, we did some testing like normal. Tough to say much really carries over from there, from that track. It's just so different than here. But I did run that Grand Am race, and I think that helped me and really gave me a lot of confidence that I was able to go out and run competitive times with guys that do it all the time and in their cars, and go to a track that's a little different and a car that's totally different. So I think my confidence was really high coming into to this weekend, and I stuck to my guns on a few feelings and sensations that I didn't like in the car, and we were kind of at a crossroads with the setup of the car, and I'm like, Chad, I think we need to keep going down this road, and it's like, well, I'm not sure, and I I've stayed true to what I felt, and that really helped us.
It sounds to me like you've got a lot more confidence when it comes to this style of road
Yes,
racing here.
Absolutely getting there.
Jimmie, you guys have been, obviously this is your 4th win. Denny Hamlin has also gotten off to a great start this year. You and Chad, I know, are always been very, keen on what's going on around you in your surroundings. Has seen Denny get up there and challenge you guys? Have you guys, has it done anything else different as far as the mindset of your race team to know that somebody may be a little bit closer to you guys at this point in the season than it has been in years past?
Through the year, there's always somebody. We're not the dominant car through the regular season. We've been very fortunate to have things right when the chase comes around. So we're used to it being someone. And for a long time, we've watched, we know the Gibbs cars are fast, and for a long time, we've watched that 11 team mature and grow. And we've always thought that those guys, when they figure it out and figure out how to do it week in and week out, they're going to be awfully tough to beat. And this year, that's been the case. So I know we're going to have a tough battle with those guys, and potentially Kyle and some other guys towards the end of the year.
Well, Jimmie, we know you're getting used to this tradition. We have here on Victory Lane, our winner sign the flag from Sunoco every time. Congratulations, Jimmie. You checked another one off your list. Only 4 to go now.
Yeah, 4 to go. I want to say hi to Shanny. She's back at home. She can't travel any longer. I hope she's watching on TV. Hopefully this wind didn't send her into labor and I got to rush home.
All right, congratulations to Jimmie Johnson. And each week here on NASCAR Victory Lane, fueled by Sunoco, one lucky fan will receive a Sunoco checkered flag autographed by the winner of the race. Enter online at speedtv.com, keyword Sunoco, to win the flag that Jimmie Johnson just signed. It is the first of 2 road course races for the Sprint Cup Series, also race number 16 on the schedule, but this year's race at Infineon is in the history books, and it's a bit of racing history for the number 48 team. For the first time, Jimmie Johnson is in Victory Lane after a road course, and one of the guys on the team that put him there, crew chief Chad Knaus. Chad, congratulations. It just has to be a load off your mind to know that you were able to put Jimmie in Victory Lane. Strange circumstances along the way, but nonetheless, the trophy is in your possession.
Ultimately, that's all that really matters as far as we're concerned. I hate it for Marcos and those guys because they clearly had the best race car. They had us by a couple of tenths of a second a lap, and we just couldn't surpass that. And we were pretty content to come home second. We're like, okay, if we get a long run here, he was slowing down, and we might have had a shot at him. But fortunately enough, they made a crucial error fortunate for us, and we were able to capitalize on that. And it's been a long time coming. Obviously, Jimmie puts a lot of effort into it, a lot of extracurricular work, running the DP car for the Gainesco team, and going to Daytona and going to Watkins Glen a couple of weeks ago. So he's put a lot of effort to it, and collectively at Hendrick Motorsports we put a ton of effort into both of these road course races to try to get our product better. And I think that it definitely showed today that a lot of the Hendrick cars were definitely faster. We had Jan Magnussen here with us today. He did a fantastic job as well for his first race. I thought he did great. So we're really pleased. A lot of effort and a lot of time and a lot of energy put into this to get this win.
You put a lot of work into something. You came off that pit box about as fast as I've ever seen you do it when you saw that 47 car run out of, or cut the engine off, and it didn't refire, and the 48 went by him. I mean, you were down there talking to NASCAR officials because you knew the rules.
Yeah, and you have to maintain that speed, and man, you hate to pull it like that, but you got to. I mean, you have to take what you can get when you can get it, and I knew exactly what they were doing. I heard him shutting the car off, and when he was creeping up the hill, I was like, man, that's not good. I don't know if he understands what's going on. And people don't understand, it's not like just turning the key on your standard production car. You have to try to fire that thing, and when it's hot and it's running 250 degrees all day long, when you try to fire that thing up, the engine's flooded, it's got a lot of gas in there, and it won't start, especially off the starter motor. So unfortunately, they weren't able to get it, and we were able to slide by there.
Chad, I'm interested to hear your comment. Around lap 80, you guys were racing the 47 car, nose to tail on the racetrack, and you brought Jimmie to pit road. We thought maybe you would follow the 47 in, brought him in a lap sooner than the 47. And what was the mindset with that? And were you surprised that you were not able to beat the 47 back around when he pitted?
Yeah. I really was, man. I was like,
call.
man, we got it, you know, because
Yeah.
we were right on his tail, and I thought we could have a good pit stop, get in, get out, and beat him off of pit road, and unfortunately we weren't able to do it. We just couldn't get it, and he came out right in front of us. So it was unfortunate, but you know, I mean, you have to play that strategy. You know, that stuff that you see all the time in Formula One cars. You know, that's how they try to do it, try to leapfrog people. And we were just as fast as he was. You could see it at that point. But he did have a few more laps on his tires, and they were definitely considerably faster than us for the first 3 laps of a run. And you know, he was anywhere from a full second to 0.7 of a second faster than us. And fortunately for us, we were about 0.3 faster than everybody else. That tells you how fast he was compared to the field. But you know, it didn't work out, and we fell in behind him, and we ran a little bit. And he's like, man, I'm buzzing my rear tires, and I'm using my tires up. And I was like, look, let's just settle in, man. Let's just come home second. It's been a great day. If that's what it takes, that's what we'll get. And lo and behold, the present was laid out there for us.
Hey, Chad, there's a lot of people out there that would kill to have 2 wins in 10 races, but a 10-race winless streak for Jimmie Johnson is absolutely unheard of. You know, a lot of people were saying a lot of stuff. You know, what's wrong with Hendrick Motorsports? Was there any feeling inside your camp that there was anything wrong, or did you guys know the win was coming?
Well, I think that if you look at our performance, we've performed pretty well. Michigan was not as good as what it typically is for the 48 team, but if you look at Dover, we were very good. Over at Charlotte Motor Speedway, we were very competitive and waiting for the nighttime to come in, and unfortunately had an accident there. So we've had some very good races. Pocono, we had a great race. We qualified towards the back and just slowly just kind of marched our way up there towards the end. At the end, we were sitting there second in place, second position with I don't remember how many laps it was to go, and then a bunch of people pitted out of sequence and kind of got all jumbled up. You know, we came back for a top 5. So we've had some good runs. We're not slitting our wrists and panicking just yet.
I know the goal for you guys always is to peak at the time of the chase. That's the plan. Looking now for the next 8, 9, 10 races, what's the focus for you guys? Anything in particular that you're going down a certain road to to experiment with, or what's your plan? What's a perfect scenario for you guys?
We're putting all of our pieces together that we've learned and developed over the course of the first portion of the season. We're hopefully going to have a lot of that stuff set up and ready to go to Chicago, and that's where we're going to kind of debut what we're planning on running throughout the rest of the year. So hopefully we go to Chicago and we have the type of race that we want. We haven't won Chicago, so we're excited about getting up there. And you know, the goal is just to try to make the chase at this juncture. You know, it's easy to say, oh, you know, worry about the championship and so on and so forth, but that's not the case. You have to go out there and you have to be competitive, win races, and try to make the chase, and it's going to be tough to do.
Chad, congratulations on a great job today by the whole number 48 team. You got your road course win.
Yeah, thanks. I'll tell you what, it's amazing out here. I just got to throw this out. I stayed in Yountville up here just north of the track, and the fans, everybody around this area in Sonoma Valley and Napa Valley have been nothing but accommodating. It's a great racetrack, incredible amount of fans here to watch. It's been a lot of fun out here this year.
I say we race out here 5 times a year.
Yep.
Man, can we just get a little closer to Charlotte? It's a long trip out here.
We can just stay. We can stay for 5 weeks. Right. Thanks a lot for coming by. Congratulations once again to Chad Knaus and the 48 team. When we come back, we will talk to some of the other drivers that figured into this thing in good ways and bad ways as NASCAR Victory Lane rolls on. Welcome back, everyone, to NASCAR Victory Lane, fueled by Sunoco, coming to you from the Infineon Raceway after a wild day of road course racing. Put Jimmie Johnson in Victory Lane and left a very disappointed Marcus Ambrose in his wake. Now, we have all speculated since we saw the in-car camera of Marcus Ambrose. Now let's hear from Marcus himself as to what happened in the race today. Here's Bob Dillner.
Catching up with Marcus Ambrose as he leaves the racetrack here at Sonoma. Marcus, I don't know what to ask you, really. Just describe your emotion after what happened on the racetrack during that caution.
I'm just disappointed. You know, I'm disappointed for Kingsford and Clarks and Kleenex and everyone involved in this program. You know, I desperately want to give them a win, and it's just a terrible way to lose. You know, can't believe it. I'm still in shock.
Did you know the rule was if you stop on the racetrack, you lose your spot?
Yeah, but I didn't stop. I was kept rolling. It's just it's a judgment call, one of those things, you know, and just really unfortunate. You know, in a million years, it wouldn't happen again.
Nice guy, Marcus Ambrose. Tough loss here today at Sonoma.
Yeah, it was a gift for Jimmie Johnson, a tough loss for Marcus Ambrose. You hate to see a guy that's always smiling so much have a break like that, but man, it just happens, and I think he's going to get another shot to win one of these races.
Well, he will, Johnny, but at the same time, when you take a look at what went on there, you could clearly see the 47 car did stop before he got it refired. And the rule reads you must maintain your speed. I mean, that's the thing is right now the pace car is sitting at a pace of probably 30, 35 miles an hour. You're supposed to maintain that pace. You see the pace car clearly, he's 50 yards ahead of, maybe more than that, of, at that time, Jimmie Johnson. So, you know, it was clear that NASCAR had no choice but to implement and enforce the rule that was already out there, Herman.
And I tell you, I don't think there's anybody in the building that would have been disappointed to see Marcos Ambrose win this race. I mean, he's a breath of fresh air to the sport. He's fun to watch the way he races. But NASCAR is consistent. We got to remember a couple years ago back at Montreal, Robbie Gordon, nationwide race, same kind of circumstance, and NASCAR made the same call. So, NASCAR was consistent with what they've been calling, just an unfortunate, set of circumstances, and you got to feel bad for Marcos Ambrose, but that's why these races are so hard to win. You got to have everything go right. Even the smallest things can keep you out of victory lane. And
it still makes you wonder. We still like to ask him, I'm sure he's too distraught really to talk in length too much about it right now, but you'd still like to know if that was their mindset, if they were thinking about the green-white checker, that they didn't want to disappoint people that way to run out of fuel if we went into the overtime session.
I'm sure it is, JR, but at the same time, the way it turned out, we didn't have the overtime session, so again, it didn't come into play, and you hate to ever second-guess anybody, but the way this thing has played out, you've got to believe that these guys beat themselves. As Jimmie Johnson already alluded to it, the 47 was better than I was. He was beating me at the time, and again, they gave him track position, and that was the key to that 48 car coming home.
And the big mistake Ambrose made was not what he was trying to do. If his crew chief tells you, cut the engine off, he's going to cut the engine off. But from turn 1 up to turn 2, that's one heck of a hill to climb. It's a bad place to have your car cut off and stalling. You should wait to get to the top of the hill. Down to turn 4 is a much better place to do that. But you got so much going on. He's on the verge of winning his first ever Sprint Cup Series race, and it's just a shame. He did a whale of a job right to the very end.
Such a range of emotion for Marcos Ambrose, and Jimmie Johnson did give him the props, said he had the best car today, he was the guy to beat, but it just didn't work out that way. And you'll have that in Major League Auto Racing, I'm afraid. Friday, NASCAR rides into the American Northeast, Loudon, New Hampshire, and we're there live with Sprint Cup qualifying and the ultimate Friday night house party, NASCAR Trackside. Live speed coverage from New Hampshire begins Friday at 11:30 Eastern. Hey race fans, Sunoco's Free Fuel 5000 is back. Just get your Sunoco decal, put it on your car, get spotted and win. We've got spotters visiting every participating Sunoco, and if they see you with it while you're there filling up, you'll win one of thousands of instant prizes and a shot at the grand prize, 5,000 gallons of Sunoco fuel. For more information, go to GoSunoco.com. And these guys are going to need some fuel as they head back across the country. It's a long drive for the next race on the other side of the country in the Northeast at Loudon. But right now we're still talking about this road course race, and Jeff Gordon over his career has clearly been the undisputed king of the road with 9 victories. Was hoping to add another one to that today, but instead got a top 5 finish. Let's go back to Bob.
Top 5 finish for Jeff Gordon, but it comes with some repercussions as well. Bumping and banging out there a lot, Jeff Gordon. Tell me about what went on the racetrack today.
Which time? Numerous times. Those restarts, they're going to be wild and crazy, and there were guys making it 3 and 4 wide, and you just had to get really, really aggressive. It happened to me, and and then I did it to other guys. So, I'm as guilty as anybody else. I really feel bad about what I did to Martin. That I'm going to give him a call. I know it's probably not going to do any good, but I was racing the 42 really hard, and he just kept dive bombing into the inside of me on the braking zones, and I tried to outbrake him, and I just completely ran into Martin. So I feel terrible about that. And there are some other instances out there that, probably my fault that I feel bad about, but all the other ones are just hard racing.
Elliott Sadler came up and talked to you. What did he say to you after the race in the window, Jeff?
Well, Elliott was blocking a lot of guys going into 11, and I didn't realize he had a run on the 33. And, I was trying to get inside of him, and he blocked me, and I got into him, and then he got in the 33. So, sent both those guys around. It's just, again, this track is just crazy like that, and I'm not proud of a lot of things that happened out there that I did today, but I felt like I had to do some of the same things that were happening to me.
Jeff Gordon basically saying what comes around goes around.
And in that situation, Bob, it was number 19 of Elliott Sadler and the 33 of Clint Boyer going around on the racetrack. But that was a tough break for them. But, when Jeff Gordon says he's got to do what he's got to do, he's out there to win races.
Well, they all are, but so was the 19 and the 33. In that particular case, that contact was made all the way in the center of turn 11. There was no blocking going on right there. But at the other side of it, Jeff Gordon didn't become a 4-time champion by not getting up on the wheel and trying to go. But that case, maybe a little bit of patience, but you're getting at the end of the race. If you're an Elliott Sadler fan, you say it shouldn't happen. If you're a Jeff Gordon fan, you say Jeff's trying to get going. So it's just it's tough that the 19 and 33 got caught up in it.
Hey, Army, are you an Elliott Sadler fan?
I am an Elliott Sadler fan and brother. Let's get that out there.
I'm an Elliott Sadler fan, but a Jeff Gordon fan too.
Yeah. But at the same
And a
time,
Clint Boyer fan.
I think what we're seeing here with Jeff Gordon, and once again, is we're seeing a different Jeff Gordon this year. I think he's hungrier. I think he's going to have less patience, and I think that's what we saw today, guys. We didn't see Jeff Gordon, Mr. Cool, Mr. Patient. He was a guy who was up on the wheel, knowing that he had to get up front, had to challenge these guys, and he knew he had to get after like that 47 and 48 if he wanted to have a chance to win. We see here clearly he hops off in here, jumps that curve, bangs into some cars, and spins that several cars out during the course of the day. And later on it was a 56, and definitely there's now a feud between he and Martin Truex Jr. because Martin Truex Jr. wasn't happy about this. We also saw your brother Elliott Sadler go over and tell Jeff, look, give me a break, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to get positioned just like you are. But this is the style of racing. This is the style of stuff that I think we're really seeing, throughout this entire year. But more importantly, Jeff Gordon is hungry. He knows he can't give anybody or cut him any slack, and I think you're going to see more of this.
And Jeff Gordon told us on race day today that he knows it is all about winning right now. You can run in the top 5, but if you don't win, you're not going to win championships, and that's got to be what he's thinking about right now. Looks like he was going for the win today. We got to take another break here, but want to remind you that tomorrow, only one NASCAR show delivers the drivers, the crew chiefs, the latest news and information and expert analysis from the epicenter of NASCAR, Charlotte, North Carolina. Don't miss NASCAR Race Up, presented by Hooters, tomorrow night on Speed.
NASCAR Victory Lane is fueled by Sunoco, the official fuel of NASCAR. Put the fuel of NASCAR in your car.
Welcome back to Wine Country, everyone. As the sun is starting to set, it's still pretty bright and clear out here, and we can clearly now see that Jimmie Johnson is back into championship form with the victory on the road course. But now, guys, we got to go all the way across the country, back to the Northeast, and run on a completely different beast.
The key thing is right now, you got to go do this. Well, guess where you're going? Right where you're going to start the chase off, in Loudon, New Hampshire. So for guys like Jimmie Johnson, I think it's great. He's coming into this racetrack probably for the first time, carrying some momentum, feeling like he is really ready to go. They run pretty well up there, but I think for Chad Knaus, he's sitting there licking his chops saying, okay, we got 4 wins, we got some momentum, and we're headed to the place where we're going to kick this chase off here in a few months.
Yeah, I'm looking to see, Denny Hamlin, won last year at Loudon. That's a good racetrack for him, his kind of racetrack. We'll see how he rebounds, from this, great points loss today. So, that's a good track for Denny to be going to. Kyle Busch also had a bad points today. He needs to rebound, and Loudon's kind of been hit or miss for him too. So we'll see what happens when we get to New Hampshire.
And it was their teammate Joey Logano that pulled off the surprise win as a rookie on his home track under the rainy situation up there. He was the one who carried home the Big Lobster.
He did carry on the Big Lobster, and the thing, when you go back as a defending champion, you want to prove that you were worthy of the win, just like Casey Kane did here today. Came home with a top 5 finish after winning a year ago. So for Joey Logano and everybody Joe Gibbs Racing, and a lot of guys that were in the chase, Darryl, I mean, there were only about 3 or 4 guys that had the successful outing here at Infineon that are looking to rebound this upcoming weekend.
And a lot of feuds on the racetrack.
Yes,
Keep your eye on that.
feuds to come. Stay tuned. Who knows what kind of drama will unfold next week on that Magic Mile. But as for now, Jimmie Johnson is the man of the mountain with the road course victory. Thanks to everybody at Infineon Raceway for serving us so well while we're here. Let's look in the rearview mirror. Welcome, everyone, to NASCAR on Speed on a beautiful sunny day in Wine Country. We are set for road course racing at its finest at the Infineon Raceway.
They love us in Northern California, and this is not trick television.
One of them almost sounded dirty.
Boogity, 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 up this hill we're gonna go.
Bob Dillner, look what he did.
Oh boy, let's not even go there. Let's talk about.
I want to thank Frank Wilson for reminding me I'm supposed to be in the booth.
I like DW's advice. Don't exceed the talent level. That's pretty much us on NASCAR racing.
Denny Hamlin, that's some driving right there.
The end of these road course races, especially here at Sonoma, get wild.
So this is who carries the show when you
46
guys
starts.
do it.
Oh, why do you think he walks with a limp? He carries Rutledge everywhere.
Oh!
Johnson wins the Toyota Save Mart 350 at Sonoma.